Evening, Bernadette. Thank you so much for that introduction.
You're
And I can
welcome.
see, as the strong woman that you are, multitasking, looking after your baby, and still being here. So thank you so much.
You're
Good
welcome.
morning to our parents, or good afternoon, good evening. It depends on whatever time you are watching this. We're glad that you're here. Some of you are here live, and others will be watching this replay. So today we have with us Rodin School. This weekend, we're actually celebrating our ninth anniversary at Brains and Butter. We cannot believe that it's been 9 years since we began this journey. And it so happens that March is the month where we celebrate women, right? And this month, the theme for the International Women's Day was Accelerates Action. So we're really delighted to be twinning our ninth anniversary with a celebration of women with Rodin School this morning. So we're really, really pleased about that. So I'm going to read the profile, a very brief profile of the head of school at Rodin School. So Mrs. Green has worked for over 20 years in leading girls' boarding schools in a variety of academic and pastoral roles. And that right there is such a great combination. The fact that she has experience within the academic side of school life, but also the pastoral side as well. She started off as a French and German teacher, which really warms my heart. Those are two very strong languages. So she speaks English, French, and German, and that just shows you her international exposure as well. And there's such a breath of fresh air that brings to the girls, having a head like Mrs. Green. So she started off as a French and German teacher, went on to become the head of department. She's worked as a house mistress, as a deputy head, an acting head, and she's now the head of school at Rodin School. For her, an all-girls education is synonymous with an education to become a strong, independent, resilient young woman ready to face the world, whilst providing a safe space for girls as they experience the most important years in their development. Honestly, I can tell you that the senior school years, 11 to 18, are very defining years in anyone's life. And particularly for girls, I went to an all-girls school myself, so and I wouldn't have it any other way. Many of my most amazing friends, my best friends today, are from my senior school, which was an all-girls school. So, ladies and gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts as it were and enjoy this exposure into life at Rodin School and all the amazing work they've done over the years. So, over to you, Mrs. Green.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Yes, as Dr. Allo said, and thank you also for inviting me, it's a real privilege to be speaking to you all today, but also a real privilege to be the head of this exceptional school here in Sussex. We've got really strong connections with West Africa and in particular Nigeria. We've got many old girls residing in Nigeria, all Nigerians really all over the world. So it's a real honour to be here today to talk to you. So we're located, as the Dr. Allo said, in Sussex and Brighton. For those of you that don't know England that well, it's about an hour outside of London. It's about half an hour from Gatwick and about 90 minutes from Heathrow. So that just gives you an idea of where we're located on the beautiful coastline. We're an all-girls senior school, so we start at 11 and we go up to 18, where the girls do their A-levels. And we are a boarding school, but we have day girls as well. So half the girls come from our local community within Brighton, and the other half are boarding. One of the things I really enjoy about the school is the international aspects. So we are very much a British boarding school, traditional school, but very much looking forward, but with British values. But we have girls from about 40 different nationalities. And as Dr. Allo said, as a linguist, I feel the international side of the school is a really of benefit to the girls and a huge asset to the school, where you learn to live with people from different cultures and different traditions and learning together. It's a real melting pot, a tapestry of cultural experiences that the girls can get from that. One of the things that the girls said, so we just had our inspection a few weeks ago from the inspectors in the UK, and one of the things that the girls said is, I can't imagine a girl not fitting in here. And I think that's what's really important, is that each girl is an individual at the school, and it's embracing and it's making sure that she finds her individual passions and talents, and that we really enable her to grow those talents and those passions throughout her journey here. One of our USBs is our location. So whereas we are on the coast, we've got a beautiful, this morning is actually sunny, which is lovely. So we are very much on the coast, right next to Brighton, but we're about a mile or two outside of the city, which means we're in a secure and safe location. We've got our own site, which is just outside the city, but it does enable the girls, as they get older, to grow in independence and kind of start to go into the city, first of all accompanied, and as they get older and just before they go into university, enable them to have that opportunity to really go in. But within it, they can also go out to the country. So we're really like 10 minutes from the city centre. So you've got that feeling of space that really supports our ethos. So our founding sisters, who founded the school about 125 years ago now, they chose this site in particular. So they were up in London. They then came down into Brighton town, into one of the townhouses, and then to expand, they chose this site particularly for its space. Because not only did they want to ensure that the girls 125 years ago had the same education as boys and were able to really push themselves academically, what was really important for them was also their physical education. So being able to be outside, being able to push themselves physically, having that, but also to be able to have that space and for their well-being. We all know that fresh air is very good, especially in the southeast coast of England. It's definitely fresh. Girls sometimes who come straight from Nigeria, it's sometimes a slight shock to the system. I think that how fresh the air is at certain times of the year. But I think actually that for your well-being, getting outside after a day in school is really important. So they can go out, they go for walks, they just sit out and chat. They can play tennis or go to netball, or just hang out with their friends, do their dances, put their music on, dance outside. But just to get out and really get that fresh air is really important. As Dr. Allo said, I'm a huge advocate of all girls' education. So that's, to me, is really important. I think in this day and age, for girls to be able to push themselves, to be able to really have those boundaries outside of school is really important. So to be able to have that safe environment where they can fail, because failing is part of life, and being challenged is also part of life, but they can do that all in that safe environment, knowing that they are being supported by their teachers and by their house staff. So in a single sex education, the girls, we boost confidence, they get all the leadership roles. So everything is geared towards the girls. So all the classes, the way that they learn is geared towards them. So the way that the teacher will interact with them, the way the girls like to learn, which can be different, is towards them. There's no stereotypes. There's no glass ceilings that they have to crack at this stage. So they know that every opportunity, whether it be the playing fields, whether it be the inside the classroom, the leadership roles, the initiatives they want to do, that is all for them. The studies show as well that girls in all-girls school do better academically, that girls kind of basically normally get about a grade higher if they're surrounded by all girls. Hopefully now you're going to be able to see the presentation that we've passed over. There we go.
Yeah, we're actually going through the YouTube link from before because we're going through a verification to download it from Rodin. So once that's ready, we'll share that instead. But we'll just carry on with this one.
Perfect. So yeah, so as I was saying, in the classroom is really important, outside the classroom, and actually the friendship that the girls make is really, really strong friendships, really friends for life. I think if you spoke to any of our old girls, no matter how old they are, to 20s, the whole way through to the girls, ladies, not girls anymore, who are in their 80s, they still have those friendships that they made at school. I think when you're in this environment with all girls, it's a real sisterhood. Not only within the school, but once they leave the school. And that also means that our old girls have that, our girls who are currently here have those connections and have mentors with old girls. And that is really an asset for the girls in this day and age, with careers, deciding what they want to do is really important. I think also having a head who's a female, is a strong role model for the girls. And I think, we always talk about leaders, CEOs, women not being represented on the board in companies. So I think for the girls to see strong female leadership is also really important. They're able to also, during those years when they're developing as teenagers, which can be difficult years, as we know, research has shown that actually in an all-girls environment, they don't have that. They don't have that. Their confidence is not knocked as much. They are able to have the confidence and they build it up. And I think at Rodin, you can really see that within the girls. They really have confidence when they come in, and they're young and they might be shy and they mightn't necessarily want to do anything. What we always encourage the girls to do is try lots of things. It's really important not to stick to what you know, but try lots of different things that you're able to do so that in the future, you know what you want to do. And you're able to try new things. And even if it hasn't worked out, you've given it a go. And when they can do that in a really supportive environment within a girls' school. So my vision really for the school is to continue what the Lawrence sisters did. So to continue, that truly holistic education where we want the girls to be happy, but we want it to be happy through empowerment, encouragement, and engagement. And those three words where it says girl first is really important. I think they really want to be able to be empowered. We talk about female empowerment, the power of the female voice, the whole way through their education, so that they know by the end that they are able to do it. So yes, do you want to show the video now? And then we can go through, yeah. That just gives you a sense of the space that we were talking about and the location. So I think, yes, as I said, we're right next to the country. So we've got the fields in the background, and then we've got Brighton next to us. And as you can see in the bottom picture, it's all that space they have, but in a secured environment. So, where there's security and they're able really to be able to go outside, be free, but knowing that they are safe as well. So if you go on to the next slide, that just gives you an image of all the different things the girls can do. And I really like this because you can see girls. So in the middle, it is that performance. Our performing arts is really strong. The girls do not only musicals, but they actually put on the plays themselves. So they actually do the directing, the costumes, the lighting. So either on stage or backstage. We have the girls, we have careers. As we know, it's so important for the girls to start thinking about their career quite early on and what they want to do. So we have career fairs every year for the girls from the age of 11 to 18 to go to, because actually what we want them to be able to do is explore the different possibilities. We know that actually by the time the girls leave school, the jobs will be very different and the world of work will be very different to the world of work that we know. Not only will they probably have several careers, but they will probably be able to go to different things. So as I said, these are our aims. So it's really important for the girls to be happy. But we know that your life is not, you're not always happy, but it's about how do you develop as a person. And we want them to be able to be curious is really important. Be creative in the sense of within their own subjects, whether it be in science, maths, or in the arts. Being creative about how you think about things, how you think about problem solving, thinking outside the box is really important. And compassion. The girls are very fortunate, as we know, to be in schools like this. And actually, they have their voice is not just for themselves. It is to speak up for all those girls that do not have a voice in the world, whether it be in their home countries, whether it be in places like Afghanistan, where the girls don't have a voice at all. And we talk about the compassion and the responsibility that they have to use their voice constructively throughout their lives, to be able to stand up for people who are less fortunate than themselves. And that is an important thing to do. Yeah, if you go to the next slide then. So as I said, it's developing that love of learning. It's about looking at what they can do and develop skills that they didn't realize they had. And that light bulb moment when girls think, wow, this is what I want to do. I have found this passion, whether it be in the maths classroom, in the science lab, in the art room, or a mixture of all of those together. That is the moment that we're trying for the girls to get. And it might be it develops really soon and they know, right, I want to be a doctor from the age of 12. Or it might be they're 17, they still don't know, or 18, they still don't know what they want to do, but they are keeping on developing that love of learning that we know should be for life, because you should continue to develop as a learner throughout this. But they can do it here within a really safe environment. And as you'll see from our results, our GCSE results, the girls do really well. So we are not an academic hothouse. We do not just take the top girls, results-wise. We really look at them as individuals and their potential and really enable them to reach these goals, reach these grades that they can get at GCSE. And on the next slide, you'll see about the A levels as well. And that is really important. The girls do incredibly well, whether it be to Russell Group universities in England, whether it be Oxford, Durham, Edinburgh, Bristol are some of the most popular ones, or they want to go to the States. So we have girls going up this year on a hockey scholarship to the States, last year to Columbia, New York, and that it's really tailored towards those. Some girls go to Europe, to university, to business schools, and it's looking at that, or going into art schools. And again, going to apprenticeships, whether it be apprenticeships with JP Morgan or with British Airways to do engineering. The different routes for different girls, and that is also for them to know that they can do that as well. So this is Tammy. So Tammy is the youngest of 4 girls. Tammy, it was quite quiet, I think, being the youngest of 4. Often it can go both ways, can't you? You can be the loudest or you can be the quietest. But she was with us the whole way from year 10 and did her GCSEs and her A levels. She was also part of my head of school team. So she was one of the prefects representing the girls. And she had the really quiet determination and ambition. She knew what she wanted to do. She wanted to go to university in London. She had kind of gone for different ones. She ended up going to King's College, where she was doing international development. And that passion where she was doing economics here and business and classical civilization just enabled her to do it. And she really developed being in that role of leadership as well for the other girls to see, which was really important for her to be a role model for the younger girls. And that was really, really good. So if you go on to the next slide. Yeah, so the co-curricular is a really important part of it. So it's not just their passions within the classroom that will get them places, but some girls get those passions outside of the classroom. So whether it be on the sports field, in the art room, and those academic results that they gain enable them to reach those goals later in life. So we know we need the academic results, because if you gain high results, it opens up, we know, more opportunities for you. But actually your passion might be something that you've learned outside the school. And the Rodin diploma really brings it together. So we make sure that the girls do things in different sections. So they can't just do what they really love doing, they know they're good at. So they do have to say, try a public speaking, and they can tick that box, but I've done the public speaking. And that might be, they might do debating, they might stand up in chapel, in front of the class to do, in chapel and do a prayer. So it might be a small thing like that, or it might be, going to a debating competition, Model United Nations, becoming a prefect. So all of those things together enables the girls to try lots of things rather than just, and the diploma brings it all together, knowing that they're able to do it. But what we know, if you look at the next slide, is pastoral is really important. So we know that girls who feel safe, who feel part of a community, who feel valued, who feel their self-worth, will do much better. And so we will underpin that with our pastoral support. So it's important whether they be that they feel that they belong, that they feel they matter, and most importantly, that they feel heard. So each individual girl needs to feel heard and needs to feel their self-worth and their self-confidence being built throughout their time here. And we're looking really after the head, the heart, and the body. And that underpins that. Our pastoral care really underpins that, because we know that you sending your children to us away from home, that this is their home when they're at school. That you have given us, you have the confidence in us to look after your daughter, not only academically, but to look after her as a whole person within the boarding, in the evenings, getting up in the morning, all that kind of developing her as a really whole person, allowing her to make lifelong friends, allowing her to push boundaries. And yes, in the boarding house, it's like a sisterhood. So they don't always get on, because you don't always get on with your sister. And it's about building that, isn't it? We haven't got on, we've fallen out, but how do you engage? How do you react to that is just as important. And those lessons that they learn with living within a community really will help them with patience, with kindness, with respect, learning all those really core skills that we know how listening to others is really important, because we know that learning to live with your peers from all over the world who think differently to you, that have different traditions, different cultures, is such an important part of it. And it's what gives it that really unique buzz. I'm hoping now, this is a video that you'll be able to hear from Anose, who's been with us since year 7 from Nigeria, and hopefully you'll be able to hear what she says.
Hello, I'm Anose. I joined Rodin when I was in year 7, and I'm in year 13 right now, and I'm a senior prefect. I'm from Nigeria. Some of the things I really cherish as a Rodin girl is the fact that I can dabble in multiple different aspects of the school. I'm not only restricted to one aspect. I can do drama, sports, and I could do well in academics and still feel very, very fulfilled at the end of the day, because I know I've used every single facility I've afforded to us in this school. One of the things I really enjoy about being a boarder is, well, there's not one thing, there's multiple different things. I would say is just the friends you make along the way, the fact that your home is and your bed is in school, so it's quite flexible and useful, and also just the fact that the boarding staff are incredibly kind and helpful, and they're always there to listen at every time and any hour of the day. Being so far away from home, it's quite hard and quite difficult, especially when you're young and you start pretty young. I started boarding in year 5 when I came here in year 7, and I would just say a coping mechanism is just your friends, because your friends really make you feel like home. The love that you have from home is like shared amongst your friends. And I'd also say it may seem difficult at first, but it definitely gets easier when you immerse yourself in different sports and just different aspects of the school, because it's almost like time has passed really, really quickly. So it doesn't make you feel like I'm missing home at all. Magical thing that the school gave to me was an opportunity to be in leadership, because I'm currently in the head of school team. And when I was year 7, I never even thought of being a prefect. That was not even in my thought process. Just getting to the next class was more important to me. But the fact that the school and all the staff and pastoral and everyone has really guided me along the way to the point where I felt comfortable to put my name forward. And just the fact that it's an opportunity afforded to me is just amazing, and something I've never ever dreamed of in my wildest dreams. So that's something I really, really cherish. And just like many people I can help in my role as head of school for boarding, diversity, inclusion, sustainability. A message to anyone considering grading, I would say, it may feel like it would be a bit daunting at first, but one thing I realized is that everybody was friendly immediately right off the back. I had no problem finding any friends. And another thing I would say is get involved in everything. It doesn't matter if your niche is academics, dance, drama, just get involved in everything, because the school really has facilities for every single thing you may be interested in, and just prepares you for the real world, because you already had time to develop your skills, and that's something that the school really, really gives you.
Thank you. So that's just Nonso, who's been with us for year 7 and is also part of the head of school team this year. And it's just been an incredible journey for her. One of the things we do well, and so, is, we do so many things well. And so these are just some of the recognitions we've had from awards, whether it be Independent School of the Year, award, one of the finalists. We've had Brilliant Boarding School where we were the winner. We've the partnerships we have on the co-curricular side, we won that. And in the Tatler magazine, we feature in that every year, just showing what we do. Because we're just so proud of everything we do. And girls are not so good at boasting about things like boys are. So I think it's important that we continue to boast for them. So as I said, we've got really strong connections with Nigeria. We had, as we were saying before, about March Women's Month, and we had International Women's Day. We had 2 old girls from Nigeria come to speak to the girls. One that was here in the 80s and one that was here in the early 2000s. And the last Doyen who was here left in 2001, is a CEO at ARC, a company in Nigeria. And she just spoke, coming back and just to the girls, and spoke about not only her time here and how it really encouraged her and gave her the confidence, but also she was really impressed with the current girls and the girls' enthusiasm for their futures, and was how they asked questions and how they were bold with their questions, and they weren't shy about asking difficult questions, and that was really encouraging to see. So just to sum it up, this is basically our admissions contact details. Obviously, if you're over in the UK, if you're coming over to London, do please come and visit, because doing it on screen is great, but actually, as Dr. Loa said, actually coming in person, you'll see the incredible school, but also the most important thing is you'll meet the girls. And the girls obviously are the ones that make a school. I can talk about it as much as I want, but actually it's the girls that are really our strongest selling point. We still have some places available for September 25, if that's something that you're looking at. And there are details as well. So our admissions team will be able to help you with any questions that you have, and will really be able to talk you through the process of how it works, about joining the school, what you need to know for the next steps, and what's going to happen. So thank you. So I think Dr. Loa, I don't know if you want to take over and if there's questions.
It's Bernadette, actually.
I'm taking over the question and answers. I'm just trying to get my bearings. Thank you so much, Mrs. Green, for that presentation. It does give such an insight to Rodin School. I know when I put up our flyer this morning on my WhatsApp, it was said that Roedean was one of the favourite schools for girls coming from Lagos to Nigeria. I had a cousin text me saying, "Oh my gosh, I remember Roedean." So fantastic. I'm just going to go into the question and answers now, and get our parents to ask the questions on their hearts about Roedean. Just opening up the questions. I think the first one I'll ask is, we know that Roedean is situated in Brighton, and Brighton is one of the cities that it's known for its open-mindedness, its liberal ways. Everything goes as it were. Is that sort of culture imbibed in the school as well? That sort of vibe, do we get it in the school as it's in Brighton? Do we get that vibe in the school? Everything goes, open-mindedness, sort of thing. Does that sound like a valid question?
Yes, I think what's really important for the girls to learn is open-mindedness, but kindness and respect. So it's respect for the individual. So, we talk a lot about in chapel, about, kindness, the respect, we're all God's people, all God's children, and about kindness and respect. So if we don't always agree with everything, that's okay. But it's about living as a community, and it's about making sure that we're always respectful, even if our views are not the same.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that answer. Any other questions? I mean, parents, you can raise your hands up and ask your questions verbally if you want to, or please use the chat box to put your questions in so I can read it out. I'm just going to wait a few moments to get another question up. So I am trying to multitask.
Whilst we're waiting now, I just want to touch on that question some more, because it's actually a concern that we've received from some of our parents. And, the typical African parent has really strong moral, ideal values and opinions, and they really worry that if their daughter gets exposed to a wide variety of alternative views, that may just erode some of the values that they've instilled in them and that has shaped them. So I guess I'm trying to wear a parent's hat now and thinking, whilst a parent understands, the whole idea of teaching the girls to respect and be kind to one another, is there sort of any assurance to those families who still want to protect those values that their daughters have, to know that, there are spaces for the girls to have their faith preserved and enhanced, as it were. And whilst, yes, they're exposed, because this is life as we know it, right? So yes, they're exposed to it, but not to the detriment of who they are. So are there any assurances that you can give our parents who might be?
Yes, I think, we are, as I said, a really multicultural society at Roedean. So there are girls that very, come from different backgrounds, different traditions, and it's about respecting that. Girls with very strong faiths, so within chapel, we speak a lot about the faith of the girls, different faiths that they have, whether they be Christian, whether they be, Muslim, that their faiths are very important to them, and they've got the space as well to have that faith. We've got chapel on Sunday where the girls come together, this Sunday evening, where we come together with the girls of Christian faith. There's other girls who are doing Ramadan at the moment, who have that strong faith. And I think within the school, it's about that, as you said, that exposure, but that slow exposure, isn't it? So it's about doing it at the pace of the girls, and, having it so that their core values and their family's core values are very much intact. So very much that respect that the girls have been brought up with, that we're respecting that. And then that exposure to different things will come slowly. But that is not to say that the values of the family are in any way contradicted or brought into question. I think it's just about, that's what I was saying about, you're saying about that vibrant city. We are very much out. So if you looked at our window, you see one side, you see the sea, the other side, you see, the fields. So the girls are not kind of going in and out of Brighton. They're not in the city, so they can go into the city. They might have it's mainly they go in on a Saturday with teachers, and they have a shopping trips every so often. But often the trips are further afield, whether it be to London for museums, whether it be to an amusement park, etc. So it's that slow exposure, and it's really working with the families as well to discuss that and what their expectations are.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Green. I'm really sorry about my little bubble.
That's all right.
I've got one more question for the question and answer box.
I'll
just get Dr. Ella to read it.
Yes, no problem. Okay, so the parents are saying, how does the school prepare students for a globalized world, including opportunities for international exposure? And I think this is up your street in Rodin, because there's a very healthy, diverse community in Rodin, and that in and of itself just creates such an exposure for the girls as well. So
absolutely. So you have over 40 nationalities at the school. And I think that really exposes the girls from a really early age to that globalization, to international. What's really strong, as I said to you before, was the Old Girl Network. So, if girls say, well, I want to go and study in the States, we'll say, right, here's an old girl. She studied in the States. Yes, she did engineering. Talk to her. So connecting girls with either people at universities, in companies, from around the world. So our whole our network is global, not only with our school community, but also our old girl community, our parent community. So we really encourage old girls and also parents who get involved in the whole career side of things as well. And actually that whole globalization and living together, working together, going to work and live in different countries is really important. So the girls have connections not only, say, with old girls, from Nigeria that they might have, but that is also really nice if they have someone from their home who understands A, what they're going through because they've been eroding themselves, B, who might now be part of having been to the States to study or working in the States or working in different parts of the world. So that connection, so there's lots of different connections they can make, not only within the walls of the school, but also with the old girls, whether it be at home or further afield. So that globalization and international feel of the school is a real asset for the girls as they grow older, as they go into the world of work, because they know they've got that global network. So no matter really where they go in the world, there will be an old girl who will be able to help them.
I really like the strong network that you have, Rodin. We actually have a family who's coming to view Brighton College. Yeah. So we have two families. Another family's coming, but then there's another family who wants to view Brighton College, and we said you need to have a look at Rodin as well for your daughter.
Yeah.
Honestly, the networks that you have, the international exposure within the school, different girls from different nationalities and lifelong friendships formed all across the world, and even career connections as well to the OR network, I think is absolutely amazing.
And I think Nigerian women are strong women. Having been to Nigeria in September and met up with the old girls, they are strong, independent women, Nigerian women. And I think our old girls from Nigeria are just exceptional women, really exceptional, really at the top of their game. Leading companies, CEOs of companies, whether it be back in Nigeria or here in London or in New York, and they're just incredible, and they always want to give back to our community. There's a really strong connection. And I think that's so important these days for girls coming in and families coming in, that you can have those discussions here, but you can also have those discussions at home in Lagos or wherever that is. You have those connections there. So we have events that we hold, say, in Nigeria for the families as well, to connect them with each other, which is really important, because obviously if you're bringing your child over here, you don't actually necessarily connect. So, with the other families coming. So that we have connections with the families. So we have events that they can meet each other, and it's amazing how many know each other already before, not realizing that their daughters were both going to Rhody, but also with the old girls, so they can have those questions and answers with them as well.
And honestly, I think the next time we have a meeting like this, obviously we're going to do something physical as well. But the next time we have this sort of meeting, it would be really good to have an OR joining, because I think our families would really love to hear from an OR or a current Nigerian student. They would really enjoy that. So that's something we can work towards in the
Definitely.
future.
Yeah.
I'll just take the next question. I think that would be it. Oh, okay. We have two more questions have come. Amazing. Okay, so can I read both questions, or do you want to
Yeah.
have to? Okay, so the first question is, what support does the school offer to students as they transition to higher educational careers? And the other question says, some children have learning difficulties. It's really great that we have this question actually, because it's come up recently and I thought about it when I was looking at the time. So do you identify and provide assistance to these girls who have some learning difficulties and the career?
Yes, I'll answer. Yes, I'll answer both. So the first one, the careers. So yeah, careers and university is a huge part of what we do. So as I said, it's really tailored to the individual student. So from the ages, so when they're 11, we start the journey. We talk about careers. Obviously, some girls know exactly what they want to do. Most, 95%, have no idea what they want to do. So it's opening up. So they have what we call career lessons. So they really kind of have discussion. I mean, they're not really lessons, it's really discussion groups. We have the fair every year they go. And the further they go along, the more specific it comes to the individual. So each girl from GCSE will have that one-to-one meeting, kind of thinking, right, what do you want? Do you know what you want to do next? And then work backwards. Right, do you know what you want to do career-wise? Right, this is what you need to do university, and this is what you need to do at A-levels. So it's really kind of that way. But it's also, for those that don't know, it's like, well, also what do you enjoy? Because there's no point saying I want to be a doctor, but you hate biology. Do you know what I mean? So it's really those kind of questions about the individual girl as well, and what they want to do, and not necessarily always what their parents want them to do. And that's important as well. You know, we all want a doctor and a lawyer in our family, but that's not always what the children, you know, and they have, you know, and say, you know, when the children growing up, you know, I'd love for my children to be a doctor and a lawyer. I always think they're the two most important careers you'd want in your family. But it's really about working with the girl and her parents, making sure we're doing the right for her, that she's going to really excel at what she wants to do. So it's a really individual, tailored program. And then, again, different depending where they want to go. Do they want to go to the States? Because that's a very different process than if they want to go to the UK. And again, slightly different process if they want to go to Oxford or Cambridge. And again, if they want to do medicine or they want to do business. So every program, so there's different pathways for each of the kind of different areas the girls want to go into. And they'll then get mentored by our teams. But as I said, also with the old girls. So that's important. And then from the learning support, yes. So from day one, or even before they start, there's conversations with the parents and the girls' old school about, right, you know, is there something extra that she might need some help, whether it be just a little bit of help in the classroom or a bit of further help where she has a bit of individual one-to-one sessions or group sessions. So that is very important. And it's very important for the girls to know that we all learn differently. So it doesn't mean because you get extra help that you're not going to be able to achieve the same as someone that doesn't get extra help. And that is essential for every child to know, that they are just as good as each other. That actually we all learn, our brains are wired very differently. Every single individual learns differently. And actually the help that you get at school is going to enable you to achieve what you need to achieve, whether that just be in the classroom, whether that be with a one-to-one session, whether that be extra time in an exam. We're all there to learn, and we all learn differently, and it is not in any way a stigma. The girls are very proud. We have girls standing up and saying, I'm dyslexic, but I've achieved this. And that is very much the norm in the school from the minute they arrive. The 11-year-olds know the whole way through that we all learn differently, and it doesn't matter how we achieve it. They will get the help at school, however, whatever that it looks like.
Yeah, and I must say, so when I came visiting, I was shown around by two girls, two very different girls. One was more chatty than the other, but within their different personalities, you could just see them thriving. And I could tell that there is no like, one type of girl being the girls already are not trying to fit into a mold. They are themselves. They have all the support they need to thrive. I like the career support they have, the higher education support they have, and for those who learn differently as well and need extra lessons. So I could really sort of firsthand feel a very supportive environment for the individual girl. And I know one of the girls that took me around did say she came from another school within the area and that the difference has been tremendous for her. She's really blossomed in in Rodin. So I just thought, wow, that's like a real life experience of a very supportive environment and the impact that that makes on on the girls. So it really definitely speaks true to that support.
Yeah. I think so. And I think, parents often ask, well, how are you different to others, to other
Yes.
schools? And
Yeah.
I think it's that individuality. I think,
Yes.
and the ambition of the girls. I think the girls are really very, very ambitious here. I've been in
Mm.
girls' schools for 20 years. I'd say the Roding girls have got an ambition, and they're not only ambitious for themselves, but they're ambitious for each other. So it's really about, that girl power, that sisterhood, about being together. Together we're stronger, but we are ambitious as well, and we will achieve whatever it is that we want to achieve, whether it be in the art world, science are really strong here. So about 40% of our girls go on to university to do science-based subjects. But that doesn't mean they can't do art. So, we've got a girl going on to do medicine. So she's doing her biology and chemistry because she knows that's what she needs to do medicine. But she also does art because that's her passion and she loves it. And actually universities and businesses love that idea of girls that not only do what they need to do to achieve it, but actually using different parts of the brain, because we know the creative part of the brain is very different to the processing part of the brain. And all of that, in those years where they're developing, you want to develop that full brain, not just one area. So actually doing different things where you're using different skills, whether it be in a classroom or with a paintbrush, having those skills are really important.
Absolutely. And wow, we've run out of time, but for your closing remarks, if you can just speak to the last question on solving you know, problems within the curriculum. I think it's a question of what happens outside the classroom and how the girls are just, those leadership skills, problem solving skills, how those skills are being developed within the girls.
Yeah, so I think when you live in a community, you have those life, that's every day, isn't it?
Yes.
Because you're learning those life skills the whole way through. So we've got two things. We do what we call life skills lessons as well, where the girls are learning, the sooner later, different real life skills. But also it's about, learning, as I said, about public speaking, learning, how to shake someone's hand properly, eye contact, all of those kind of soft skills that are really important that girls learn through their day-to-day interaction, inside but also outside the classroom. It's about problem solving. So you do problem solving, yes, and everybody thinks, well, that's maths. If you do problem solving in maths, you do speaking in English, but it's not. It's about doing it across the curriculum, but also outside of the curriculum. So it's also about, getting together in groups. So like we do personal development where the girls have to kind of think about, right, here's an issue, a real life issue, your friends got into trouble, what are we going to do? So learning those kind of skills, that are really important. And also we do a lot with the local community as well, which is really important. So the girls going out to the local primary school to help, so that they're discovering, as I said, about that compassion, knowing that they're very lucky in their lives, but actually as people less fortunate. So they do a lot of help within the community. They raise money for charities, that are really important to them. As individuals, whether it be at home, in the UK, local community, or some of the girls are really passionate about charities in their home, or raising money, something's happened, right, what can we do to help? And that is really important. And it's also the girls want to be able to talk to the girls about issues from around the world. So, you know, we had a girl who's Lebanese, and she was really wanted to talk to the girls about, right, this is what's going on in my country at the moment. This is what I want you to be aware of. And the girls do that a lot. If issues have come up in their countries or around in their areas of the world, about informing the others about this is what's going on outside of our community, and what can we do to help, and how can we, in the small way, help that will make a difference.
Amazing. And I think you have this Rodin diploma that I saw as part of your presentation.
Exactly. And that's all those skills coming together and saying to the girls, right, these are all the skills that we need in life. It's not just about academic work. Academic work helps us to get to the next point. But actually all those other things will help you for life.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much, Mrs. Green. Can you remind us what the mantra at Rodin is? Do you have like a tagline of Rodin?
Yeah, so just that one that we had where it's kind of really girls first.
Yes.
You know, empower, engage, you know, that is really, really important for us.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We're really grateful. Bernadette, I don't know if you have anything you'd like to add before we round up the meeting.
No, I'm okay. Thank you very much, Mrs. Green, for joining us.
Thank you so much.
It's been a great time. I don't know if you want me to hand over to Adetola now to sort of give a closing remark.
Yes, if she's ready, yes. Well, while Tola's coming onto the screen, I'm just going to share something that's a bit controversial, but I want parents to take me up on this after this call. Some of the strongest women I know, and Tola, you can show your video, actually went to an all-girls school. Honestly, not even. I probably need to do some research about this. Some of the really strong, powerful women were educated in an all-girls school. But you can take me up on that one, and we'll do a survey and see, particularly amongst like the Nigerian women's space that I'm very familiar with. So yeah, I just thought to throw that in there. And yeah, if you and disclaimer, this is not to say that ladies who go to a co-ed school are not strong women. I'm just saying that based on my, observation and my little study, women who went to all-girls school are particularly strong, driven women. So over to you, Tola.
Yeah, maybe we will take that as a banter on another day, Dr. Alo.
Spot on. I agree.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Green. Thank you so much. And I believe Mrs. Winnicott is around the corner there. We really appreciate you for taking your time out on a Saturday to do this with us. Thank you so much. And thank you, Dr. Alo, for always having this kind of platform where parents can always know more about schools in the UK. So thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a great afternoon, and thank you so much. I trust that you will all enjoy your day. So let me leave you to do that. It's a weekend, so please do enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. I know we will catch up on another level, that's Rodin, because we have some of our parents, just as Dr. Allard said, we'll have some of our parents that are looking out yet to register their children at Rodin. So yeah, thank you so much. It's been a great time. I really enjoyed myself listening to this presentation. Thank you.